And welcome back. We're picking where we left off last time in Field of Glory's Empire as the Romans. If you're watching on Twitch or watching on YouTube, the way I'm going to record this is much like I did in the last part, where I'm going to basically record the entire stream and then do editing to break it up into individual bits. We left off, I believe, basically the end of turn 61. So if we click on any random territory and do the next adult region, we shouldn't go anywhere. Yeah, because all the regions have been assigned tasks to. We're at about 597 legacy. Technically speaking, we can check this because it's the beginning of the stream fairly easily. To quote unquote win, if it's turn 100 or 100 more plus into the game, if you have 3 times the next closest competitor in legacy points, it basically gives you the you win screen for outdoing everyone. We're kind of in that range where we're about twice as high, almost as the next competitor. We got 40 years to go, so there's a decent possibility we'll end up in a win state fairly easy on in the base campaign here. We're hitting the road. If I had more money, we could build the limes as well. We're not going to do that. Any other places where we got... Okay, we got that one all the way upgraded. That one can't be upgraded. That one can't be upgraded. No there. It's likely we have them all the way upgraded. I'm just checking to see if there's any of the roads to build that we're missing. And the answer is no. So I might leave him there, and then we'll upgrade the Roman camp to a limes when we have excess money. One thing we're trying to do is, I brought it up at the end of the last one, is we're currently glorious tier 2 republic. That means we do suffer from age penalties. So one of our goals right now is to age up. So we get the 50% age reduction, become an empire, become tier 3. That'll both make the age empire or the age penalty go away, because you technically don't suffer it when you're young or stable. But also it will reduce the penalty, right? So that's right now like half of our decadence almost is coming from that penalty. So we do want to get that penalty to go away, even if that's only going to be a temporary thing. Because what's likely going to end up happening is we're going to become a young empire. We're probably going to very rapidly stay in the progressing tier from there, and jump from progress token to progress token. The other thing we're doing is once we enter tier 3, as Rome, specifically as Rome, unless you're playing on the lowest difficulty, you can get civil wars just for having provinces below 75 loyalty. So we want to keep the vast majority of our provinces 75 loyalty or higher. And or out in the boonies where we're not too worried about the territory defecting. Like there's some territories up here that, in a civil war, which they could quite easily happen, we'd lose 3 of the provinces up, or 3 of the territories up here, which would be manageable. We wouldn't have a problem with that. End of last stream, we did declare on the Duini. So whether playing along, we'll march into the Duini. We're in a harsh year, so there's blizzards in various portions of the Alps. That's slowing down our motion there. Let's go ahead. I don't think there's any... We don't need to do any of those reasonable decisions. It's not like Federate Barbarians that are worth doing yet. One thing I haven't been checking is what our provincial units are. We have Latin foot there. We have Italian foot there. And we have Cisalpine cavalry. It may actually be worth raising some Cisalpine cavalry, actually. So these are 3 2/2s. 3 attack, 2 defense, 2 hit. A ranged modifier of 3, flanking modifier of 3. This would be to replace either the cavalry, which 3-2 beats 2-2, or the light cavalry in our armies. And yeah, it'll do all that better. Technically doesn't support quite as well as light cavalry, so we probably want like 2 light cavalry, 2 Cisalpine cavalry per stack. So given that, I might actually go ahead and raise a few of those right now. Yeah, this looks like a good target to apply them to. That'll free up the cavalry, and we can go send the cavalry to support a different stack. And he's also not moving, so... we have 2 local units. Yeah, let's click there, click there. Or actually, let's not do that one. Let's do it there. I don't know if it'll immediately attach the army, in which case that'll be a bit of an issue because we really want it on that army, not this one. Or if it's going to be raised by the general, leaving the province as the general leaves, leaving them behind. But yeah, we'll do that. Decision-wise, have we issued the distribute slaves? No. Distribute the slaves. We're a little high on metal, so we'll sell metal, make some money. We're not quite rich, and well, we're actually rich enough. Let's buy action construction materials. How much manpower were we talking about getting rid of here? 500. Not quite willing to do that. I want like 200 sitting around, minimum for resupply. So let's cycle that turn. $19 of our units versus 4 of theirs. View the battle. So this is a alpine area, so we've got a frontage of 3 with no cavalry flanking. Range phase. We have a range advantage, so we exhaust their entire front line. Our guy is not the best at attacking, he's only on 1 attack roll, but it is against someone who has no commander, so it's basically 2 rolls for us to 1 of theirs. And we do have our early Republican Legion, which will happily outdo the Urban Militia here in an exhausted state. The offensive continues. And, okay, I did pick the right choice, which is the ones that are not moving. Or it spawns in the province where the general was when you press the order. Attach those in, attach those in. March you there, march you there. Could free up the regular cavalry to attach to that one, but I think we're fine. That one's just going to roll with more skirmishers instead of cavalry. Province-wise, okay, so you're part of Transalpine, you're part of Germania Superior. Okay, so we're probably going to want to take over Germania Superior, because we already control a bit of it. One reason for that is the decadence you get per province is slightly turned down a bit from nation size, I believe. So if you're small enough, you get reduced decadence. But it is normally, before size modifiers, 1 per province, or 1 per territory, and then all the territories in a province gets halved if you have it in a province, a properly made province. So we'd like to put together, if possible, full provinces. Conquer that province. We have a nobody general that we can apply. We got a almost nobody general. Oh, that one's retiring of old age, so he's not available for siege. We got our siege. Okay, and one of the old capitals has finally been destroyed, which is good and bad. So we got 9 surplus logistics here, or infrastructure here. So that does mean we can only move 1. We'll just move 1. We want to maintain surplus, but we don't necessarily need to maintain everything as surplus. Got an extra build slot here. What is our loyalty here? 85, 81, so that is more than 75, though it is going to go down as we get more and more guys. I think the loyalty goes down by... Well, first it's 2, and then once you get past a certain point it goes to 3, then a certain point it goes past to 4. So we're up in the 4s. Every new guy, every new citizen we're getting is another 4. So we're only like 1 or 2 citizens away from being below 75 here and having to put guys on culture if we don't have a different source of loyalty gain. Though I really don't want the Gladiator School in this case. I'd be more down for it if we had a source of weapons. That's where the big cost is coming from there. Pots isn't very strong because we don't have anything that needs it at the moment. Armor isn't that bad. Apparently we don't have a source of leather nearby, but leather's pretty cheap. Go quarry as well. I don't think we need the infrastructure buildings here. No. Oh, this is a place where I can go ahead and upgrade the road to a paved road. So I switch in the guy up to do that. Gymnasium. Tempting to do for the manpower. Yeah, let's do it for the manpower. Okay, we worked out that that's a place where we can build the paved road, so we'll send you over there. Next turn we'll have to remember to do the paved road. And then obviously we don't need you making food, so we'll make money with you. Sewers, we don't need you. Well, that's the question, is do I want to accelerate construction? Anywhere. Well, not do I need, well, I don't need to, but do I want to? Alright, do we need this money sitting around? The money gain sitting around, that's the question, I suppose. Okay, we got plenty of money going on here. Get some more culture. Monuments are an interesting building because they both provide culture and decadence. They're about a 2-to-1 ratio normally. Decadence is the average that you gained over the last 10 turns. Hello, Drew. Hope your work goes well. And we're... Well, I think they're both the average over the last 10 turns or so. So, yeah. You know, they both have averages of everything fixed over the last 10 turns. Yes, Italy is... What we normally traditionally consider Italy is now fully under the control of Rome. We're now pushing into the other half of Transalpine Gaul. So I think when Caesar, for example, Caesar's proconsulship was over Cisalpine Gaul, Transalpine Gaul, and technically was responsible for the diplomacy in the rest of Gaul. We got our orders for troops moving forward. I don't think we got anything we need or want to play. Got no sieges going on. Oh, I wonder what the what is the provincial troops for there? Oh, there's an easy way. Isn't an easy way for me to check, I think. Yep, our offensive is ongoing. Let's press the next turn. Got 16 enemy units out and about, or no, not 16, 8 units with 16 combat power on them in the open in hills. Exhausting their front line. And at this point, they do have a pretty good defender, so we got the same number of dice rolls, but we just got better dice rolls here. What's going to go on? Yeah, complete destruction. Christian's asking, do I have any client states, and what is the status with Carthage? I have no client states, and Carthage is doing whatever Carthage is doing. Okay, that's just going to be easy. I'll just skip that fight. I wouldn't necessarily expect a fight with Carthage to necessarily be a problem. But yeah, Carthage is over there doing whatever they want to do. They haven't started anything yet. Milicia is proposing a trade deal. They give me money and metal. I give them access to some Latin foot. Sure. Slave market. Just always distribute, usually. Reshuffles when they're building proposals. I'm usually don't worry about that. So yeah, this is Carthage. They're looking pretty healthy in North Africa, and they still have... Well, apparently they're having a little bit of problems with their New Carthago area. I think technically this is part of New Carthago. So New Carthago is having a bad day. Armentes. Okay, so there's a bunch of people in North Africa giving Carthage a bad day. You can see Numidia is doing semi-decent. Okay, so we retrieve there. We'll march to that province in Transalpine. You can see our troop is moving through Militia. We actually have cooperation, I believe, with Militia. Well, full alliance. They are our allies. And Emporia is... Let's actually offer them an alliance. Armies are otherwise moving. We got this place under siege. We're going to have that place under siege. Our third army is going to basically run around, grab in little places that isn't fortified, I think, while the other two siege. Okay, you arrived in place. You should be able to build a paved road, and you can. 350 money to build a paved road. A little bit of pop growth here, allowing for some more buildings. We got 86 loyalty here, so we're not rushed for more loyalty. Not that the cult site gives any. Actually, because the cult site provides culture, we'll grab that anyway. Culture is nice at the moment. Passive culture is nice. I prefer not to do active as much, but passive is good. We don't need... Well, actually, what's their loyalty if they're not working culture? 102. Yeah, we don't need the loyalty here right now. Clothing manufacturer is tempting. It is money making, even though we don't have cloth, which is always a nice thing to see. You know, let's go ahead and pick the clothing manufacturer. That'll prompt us to build more industry in the future. Or build the building maker in the future. Okay, all the sleighs on building the buildings we got going in the zone. That's not quite enough to get it done in one turn. But I think that's like good enough because we've got the other one, so it'll be 2 turns for this one. It'll be fine. Got some new population here. Wheelmaker is tempting. We don't need it though. Marketplace is also tempting. Probably just gonna do the theater for the culture. Basilica here does provide loyalty. It's going to be expensive because it's going to cost us some money, but loyalty and culture is not that bad. And we got the money to spend right now, so that's not a problem. We don't need the loyalty here. We got a surplus of like 15. So, oh, well, we are getting pretty good culture from this as well. 16 culture, so we'll probably go culture anyway. I don't need to go quite so ham on culture, but it's tempting nonetheless. Okay, this place could use some loyalty, so we'll go ahead and grab the noble quarter there. Ooh, school. Offer mine. Street Polar is not bad. Make some money, make some culture. Benefiting from the papyrus. Another Street Polar, again benefiting from the papyrus. So Suicide Pie is pretty much focusing on infrastructure. Italia Inferior is mainly working on culture, and Italia Superior is mostly working on making money. Lots and lots of money. And that's allowing us to afford 3 offensive armies. Okay. And yeah, the offensive is going. The siege is going well. We didn't breach the walls on the first turn, so we'll cycle into the turn. I'm not sure if we got another point there. Might have got another point there. Progress point. Security trade deal. The Aduini are proposing peace. No. We're invading you for a reason. You are in the way for our target. Spend metal to acquire manpower or money. Don't quite have enough surplus metal yet. Religious ceremony. Okay, so we're about loyalty. We can do a religious ceremony, which we're not right now. Siege is underway. Wall is breached. So order the assault. If the wall, there's no walls left on a fort, there's no reason for us to not attack it at this point. There's a wall on that one. Twitch chat is asking, well, basically saying they see that I don't use the auto province management, and the answer is because I really prefer micromanaging. It's not a very fancy reason. It's just that's just what I'm used to. That and the AI, I think the AI to a certain degree actually prefers much more balanced usage than I do. I like to take it a little bit more extreme. Okay, I don't think we need any more money for the moment, so provinces where we don't need the loyalty. I think we might need the loyalty there. Yeah. We're gonna swap people over to making production or food. Just so we can get more people, more stuff, basically. We don't need all of them on loyalty making. Let's move some over. I was going to play like we are tier 3 already, which means I want to keep 71 loyalty, or 75 loyalty everywhere. Alright, so I can do the same here. Probably don't need the culture that badly. So you make food. We'll see if this brings us down out of the progressing tier. If it does, we'll about face a bit. But the university is providing us 400 and something food for the entire province, so that should help with them growing a lot faster. And then this one up here just needs the industry. Lots of buildings going. And the offensive is going well. In a prospect for resources. Could do an Art of the Siege. We'll do an Art of the Siege on that one. Prospect for resources in the hills here. And yeah, we don't have any, we're not next to any tier 1 barbarians, so no Federate barbarians currently. So let's go ahead and cycle the turn, because I don't think we've gotten any particularly interesting decisions yet. Storm in the fort. So the fort did not surrender. It has a breach in the wall, and they have basically 0 combat power. So this is basically a guaranteed win, which is why we ordered the assault if they did not surrender. 18 versus 2. Yeah, we're going to win that dice roll, win the dice roll, win and win. Fortification has fallen. Yep, nice, quick win. Another battle goes our way. Okay, so I took a little bit too much off of culture, because apparently we've dropped into the stable tier instead of the progressing tier. Okay, we can just display some more slaves. So we need more culture. It wasn't these places. Brutium. Okay, so Brutium, specifically Brutium. These guys toss some culture. We do have some more building slots, so let's get those building slots going. Tempted to build the temple. Yeah, very tempted to build the temple. I think tempted enough that I'm going to build it. This is the Amphora Fabricator. I might build the Amphora Fabricator instead, but in our situation, we're going to go with the temple or the culture. Nope, can upgrade the Oration Tribune to a courthouse. So that's not a bad choice. Lowers the decadence a little bit. We don't need the loyalty here. And it's only 5 culture, so this is actually a bad culture decadence trade until we get either luxury or silk here. Trading post isn't that bad. Attempting to do the trading post. 20 money. 20 money with more ways to improve it. Oh, let's do the Wheelmaker. I do want to get access to tier 2 infrastructure buildings pretty much everywhere. And then to get all those built in a turn, let's... Is that enough? No, how much are we short? Let's say about 150, so we need about 150 more infrastructure being built this turn. $117 plus 27 is about 147, so like 9? And if you're wondering why I'm like saying 3 and then somehow that's becoming 9, is 3 projects and it gets evenly divided between the projects. Here we go. Italia Superior, we got a new project going. Again, the same sort of argument from before. 5 culture versus 0.6 decadence. Not really worth it unless we need the loyalty, and we don't. Tannery, this is 5 from here, another place gets 5. Is able to import it from Amelia. Interestingly, that's not our territory. I think that's where it's getting imported from. Which is surprising. That probably means I don't have any you don't have any cattle within 3 territories. Granted, building that will let me know that we would benefit from having one within 3 territories, so we'll not worry too much about that. This is a place that might actually benefit from the guard tower. Guard tower only hangs around until you got 12 population. But we're right on the border here, so it'll provide some protection, and that's 6 growth worth of protection that it can serve us for, so. Grab the Tribune. Street Baller is always nice, especially when you have access to Papyrus. A building that uses our Papyrus, that'll get us more money, get us more culture, get us more decadence reduction. We don't need the Gladiator School up here that badly. We're going to want some loyalty here at some point, but the Gladiator School is expensive unless you have access to weapons in the local area. I don't think the Cisalpine Gaul cavalry are counted as skirmisher cav, otherwise we definitely hop on this. We'll probably run the brickworks then. Okay. Been mostly ignoring the construction out here. Like, this one's kind of stalled until we get something that's not affected by the glaciers. Should probably build something here. That's not roads. Probably the harbor, actually. Okay. For similar reasons, you don't need to be making money. I'd rather feed yourself first. Okay. Accelerate the existing building. Accelerate the existing building. Okay, we're laying siege. We have breached the walls, so you are ordered to storm the fort. You go lay siege to the next major fort. You know what? Actually, let's have you go around to the other fort. We'll have this guy mop up the territory up here once it's done with the fort. We worked out we want a road there and there and there, everywhere where it's a road. So you come up to the front. Got roads to build. Okay, now we did add a little bit more culture to some of our provinces, so we'll see if that brings us back up into the progressing tier on the end turn here. Oh, interesting. The province, when it fell, did not defect to me. I think that's because I probably wasn't the one that assaulted it first. There's someone else sieging it, which is a bit of a shame. We're stuck in the middle of a blizzard. Siege will kick 3 unbreached walls. This offense will presumably keep going. Okay. We established it in the siege, even though someone nicked the siege that we were in. Okay, 3 buildings to build. Wheelmaker's tempting. Yeah, I think it's the Wheelmaker here. Oops. Misclicked and you're on the right one. Temple. It is only a 5 culture temple. It would get more if we had fish somewhere nearby. And fish is something we might plausibly get. This is a whole... It's the Italian peninsula, after all. So let's pick up that temple. Oh, Oration Tribune... Well... Oration Tribune here, or Brickworks? Yeah, let's actually go brickworks. Let's get access to the tier 2 structure buildings. Okay, so I can take about 13 times 3, so about 49, no, 39 infrastructure off and still get everything done on the same turn. Oh, we needed a little bit more culture, so we'll do that. Yep, that'll work. All three of those buildings will finish next turn. Sewer will finish next turn, that's nice to see. Tree. Surprisingly starting to catch up with the building slot. The building slot's starting to catch up with the population. We've only got 2 more to go. Ooh, National Wonder. The Tantalorarium in Rome was an important building within the Forum. A lot of official records were stored there, and many city official workers daily to organize and sort all manners of laws and official text, using the wax tablets or tabulae. Law and Order. 25 loyalty bonus. Decadence gain reduced by 5%. 20 culture in the province. It is going to have to... Oh, and apparently it's just a minus 20 income because it's just an expensive building. Okay. And it's National Wonder, so I think I'm just going to accept that we're going to build that here. That's going to be fine. Don't necessarily need the loyalty here, but this is a big province, or big state. It's a 20 province, or 20 population place already. And growing, still. So yeah, we'll grab the 20 culture there. That's not a bad choice. Now, this is Rome. Arguably, if I want Rome to continue growing, it might be worth building the slave market there. But we do have a bunch of places that need weapons, so we can build the weapons manufacturer to get 6 more infrastructure, 6 more manpower, 16 more equipment in various places. Yeah, let's build the weapons manufacturer here. We don't necessarily need it, but it'll definitely be a good thing to have. Oops, that was a misclick. Gain the Preceptor House again taking advantage of our local papyrus. We don't need the food, so on to industry. I think I'm going to go brickworks here. We want to get enough that we can upgrade the road to regional, so we need 2 infrastructure buildings in each of the states, to the territories. I think it's quarry that gives us access to the raw pull of a marble vein, so we will go quarry here. And that makes that place eligible for the road upgrade as well. Yeah, because that place is a blizzard. Don't stop moving that way, and then move into the place that isn't the blizzard, so you can start building road next turn. Fences are otherwise going well. You finished building. Preceptor House is not bad. Actually, is that a Preceptor House that's getting... No, not getting Papyrus. Still do it anyway. Preceptor House is just that good. And I suppose this army is stuck here for the turn, so if it's stuck here for the turn, go ahead and crack out a Public Works while you're here. Yeah, no barbarians to federate, so I think we're good. Let's go ahead and cycle the turn. Oh, and I suppose looking at the time, I should go ahead and put the first part break in the stream for YouTube. Oh, people keep jumping my enemies' provinces before I get to them. It's not quite what I want. Okay, we're back up in the progressing tier. Getting a little bit more infrastructure here by spending some money, which we will do. Spend money to acquire metal or manpower. We don't really need to. Okay, where did our army end up? Okay, it ended up basically canceling its movement, which is not really what I want. Okay, you go take that province. You go take that province. You've arrived to build the road. Build the public works. It's actually working on its monument now, because it's got actual positive infrastructure. Good to see. Okay, this province has one building to work on. Oh, we might actually want the loyalty here. So let's go to the tavern. It's not a big loyalty bonus, it's only +4. And it's getting a lot of infrastructure from the entire zone, which we should probably see to fix. This doesn't quite need that much. I'm gonna put a little bit more culture generation. That's because we do want to continue to stay in the progressing tier. And the rest is basically going to be set to food. Except for what we need to keep the tavern being built. Which is 45. Take it down to the 20. 19's close enough. 6 building slots here. Could build the hospital. It might be worth, it'll be expensive to have a hospital, but it might be worth to have one hospital to start fishing for the Great Hospital. And drugs is just hard to source as it is. There's no, if you want this building often, you just have to accept that you're going to be running the money cost for the drugs. We'll go drugs. We'll go hospital. So yes, we're having to buy drugs from the void, but that's just the reality sometimes with that building. Preceptor House or Builder Hall? Preceptor House. Oh, and what was... I think that's probably the salt mine. Yeah, we don't necessarily need the salt mine, it's a Preceptor House. We're building a Wonder. The Wonder is reasonably expensive. So everything we don't need for loyalty reasons should probably be assigned to infrastructure here. Okay, loyalty is starting to become, in some of these very large provinces, is starting to become a problem. We'll have to fish for a little bit more of the higher tier cultural buildings. A lot of the tier 3 culture buildings are the big loyalty sources. You're having issues maintaining loyal, high population cities. That's a pretty big province. That's 4, 5, 10 large province. Okay. That means probably once we take that one over, it'll let us make the province. Okay, let's go ahead and put in the part break here. So if you're watching on YouTube, there will be part up tomorrow. If you're watching on Twitch, the family dog has decided it wants my attention, so I'm gonna go give it some attention. So I'll be back in a short bit once I've calmed the dog down. Until the next time, wish you all the best of luck and a good time. Catch you all in the next part, and bye for now.